Hello, everyone. This is not what I planned to make today, but this is something pretty big that came up that I definitely wanted to talk about. And I did a poll recently to ask what other topics would people like to see on the channel, and Power Rangers was actually kind of high up on the polls. So I figure if I'm going to talk about anything Power Ranger, it's going to be this because this hits not only my childhood, but a lot of things that I think are extremely cool for the franchise going forward. Or who knows? Power Ranger Future is in a really weird spot right now. So we're going to take a look at this. Now, the only way I know if you guys want more content like this is for you guys to engage in the content. Leave a comment, hit the like button, hit subscribe, all those little numbers. Not only help me on YouTube, but also tell me if this is your thing or not. So please do so if you enjoy the video, or if you just enjoy me ranting and raving over a bit of nostalgia. And let us begin. This is from a mix of sources. Some of it is Hasbro Pulse, some of it is Entertainment Weekly, some of it is through the Power Ranger Twitter feed. They've announced a lot today because it was a Hasbro Pulse fan stream for Power Rangers today. I could have covered the whole stream, but I wanted to focus on just the TV show side of things because the toys are. It's more Lightning Collection. It's the Zap Astro Megazord, which looks way too big. It's way bigger than the Dino Megazord was. So I don't know if that's the right idea or not. But for now, let's focus on this shot in front of us, showing some of our returning Rangers. And I'm starting us off on one of the most interesting visuals, not because it's four classic Rangers standing beside each other, clearly about to go into battle, or whatever is about to go on. What is interesting to me is the background itself. So if we take a look closer, we do see these little shelving units with Ranger action figures on them. We're not entirely sure what they are, what it means. If someone just has a toy collection, if this is kind of like a Ranger key thing and they are repositories for Ranger powers, if we've gone then the other part of my brain goes, maybe this is a villain layer and these are captured Rangers, like how Time Force used to shrink down their villains and imprison them. This could be running the exact same way for all I know. Because look where we are. Look behind Billy. We've got a shot of the Earth in the distance. Look at the feet. Look below. There's a doorway to a balcony. It looks like we are in what's left of Rita's palace, upgraded with what seems to be some kind of, high-tech little panel behind them. Or a keyboard. It also kind of looks like a keyboard now that I look at it again. No idea what any of this is going for, but it does feel like we're back in Rita's palace, which would be a really cool throwback, especially if, I don't know if this is like a villain thing or if this is just where Billy decided to have a hideout, one or the other, but it's cool to see. It's cool that they're not just bringing back old Rangers, they're making an effort to be very nostalgic too. But we also have this shot, which seems to be in a spaceship or a space station of some kind. And yeah, we have a ton of returning Rangers in this one. Johnny Young Bosch shows up. We have Aisha, and I apologize if I go back and forth between actor names and Ranger names, characters. I don't remember all of them. Alpha is back as well, looking considerably taller than Alpha has ever looked. That's a little bit jarring. It's cool that Alpha's back, but it's also weird that Alpha is 5'5" now. That's a little... or 5'6" or so. That's a little bit weird. It's cool to see everything back here though. So we clearly have some kind of modern, almost looks like some kind of modern command center is what it looks like. It seems like behind Johnny we've got a brand new viewing globe. So it'd be super cool if that's the direction that this was supposed to be going in. I don't know if it's the base, a cockpit to a space station, or a ship. Whatever it is, it's interesting. Now, we also notice Aisha and Adam are wearing matching uniforms, so we're definitely going to have some kind of advanced overhead thing that's connecting all these Rangers. Almost feels like extension of Lightspeed. Could be reading into that too much. There is something familiar about it. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it feels like I've seen something close to those uniforms before. And I have one more shot of the set. This came from Netflix where they are airing it. So we're looking at the opposite side of this one. So like, look back here. So here's the set. There's the viewing globe. Now, if you turn the camera to look over to the right side, this is what you're going to see. We have a cracked energy tube. This is literally a brand new modernized command center, complete with what's left of Zordon's original tube, which is a little morbid. It's a little bit creepy, but at the same time, if there's some direction where Zordon can make a comeback and like just be floating in there at the end as like a nice little like return, that would be super cool. I'd be super down for that. And the actor is still active. He still interacts with the fandom all the time. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. And it is confirmed. Like the list of actors for this series, for this episode, also includes Rita Repulsa's English voice actress. So I'm actually really curious what's going to be included with this episode. Especially canonically because she turned good in Mystic Force. So we're not sure. We're not sure. It's the villain side of this. We assume it has to do something with Lord Zed, right? Because Lord Zed was in Dino Fury. He survived their encounter with the Rangers, so it'd be very obvious to bring him back. I would love to see it. It would be cool. It would be. So, we knew Command Center. Potentially Rita's Palace is back. Potentially Rita is back. So, let's see some of the in-suit stuff. I'm really happy David Yost is at a point where he's comfortable going back to the show and putting the blue spandex on again. I'm really happy with that, just because of everything he went through during the filming, everything that we've heard about his experiences during the show. I'm glad a lot of that can be put aside, and he's happy to be back. That's fantastic. What is Walter Jones drinking? What is he on that keeps him looking that young? Billy looks like every single year that has gone by since the original series. He looks all of the 30 years older. Walter is like aging like fine wine. You know, like for the people who have been watching me forever going, why don't you age? We're on the same stuff. I don't know what we are both on, but we're both on it, obviously. Also cool, if you take a notice on his left hand, there's only 3 fingers on his glove. They made, instead of trying to just like they did in the original show, they just kind of hid the fact that he's missing a finger. Now he has like, they've actually customed his uniform specifically for him. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Yeah, and then most of the shots were just kind of the buzz shots you would expect. You know, it is the Rangers coming to morph. It's coming, you know, it's them in the classic, getting, basically the classic visuals you would expect for Power Rangers. It's good to see they've got all the little touches correct. They've got the communicators on still after all this time. They are still wearing their primary colors. They are still wearing their Ranger colors as civilians, which you think would have given them away in the original show. Like, isn't it funny these 5 and then 6 teenagers are hanging out all together at the same time? They just happen to match the colors of the Power Rangers. That's convenient. That's really convenient. Really convenient. The only thing right here is Catherine Sutherland is holding her morpher a little bit too tight. So it didn't quite open up. Minor goof, but like everyone's got the pose down. Everyone looks into it, so that's cool. This one is cool for 2 reasons. Number one, the obvious one is new Radbug 2.0, and actually does look far more like a flying machine than the original one did. I think it's super cool that okay, so you know how we like freaked out over Super Mega Force putting like absolutely no money into doing the series justice for its anniversary, and now we have this episode that is going all out. We've got 2 brand new retro sets. We've got a full team of classic Rangers back and then some. We've got a new Radbug. They threw a new Radbug at us. It's crazy. The other thing about this shot is that it's one of the few looks we have so far of our brand new Yellow Ranger, which is Trini's daughter in the series, and which technically means we still have an Asian person as the Yellow Ranger. This is maybe not the best look. Aisha's in this episode. They could have thrown that in, but I do think it's nice to have some little element that Trini is still around, even if, like, unfortunately, of course, the actress has passed away quite some time ago. So it's cool that there is, like, at least we know, like, in series she's still there somewhere. She's just not present for this. So yeah, it's one of those things in Rangers where it's like, it feels like it's time for, like, the kids of the original Rangers to take up the mantle. Why haven't they ever done that? Why didn't they do that for the anniversary? So we have that, at least for one of the Rangers. So tradition running in the family. We did have that in the Christmas special in the original series, by the way, where, like, Tommy and Kat's son went off to. He got the beep on his watch and ran off, and both of his parents were like, "Yeah, just go do what you need to do." Yeah, he's totally a Ranger. Yeah, he's totally a Ranger. Well, this one, this is not the easiest shot to see. So this just kind of raises the question, doesn't it? Now, of course, like, they could have skipped doing a Green Ranger. They could have gotten away with leaving the Green Ranger out of this. No surprise that he is in the episode, of course, but without Jason David Frank. I mean, this isn't like a, like, the reason we don't have Austin St. John is because he's in a massive amount of legal trouble. So we're getting Rocky instead of Jason. The reason, then like, we have Trini's daughter being the Yellow Ranger, even though Aisha's there. So, well, at least that's, like, there's an option. At least they had a casting option. There's no casting option for replacing the Green Ranger. So what do you do? Like, we know Adam's in it. Does Adam take up the mantle? Does he just, like, grab a power coin and rush in to rescue? And that leaves the question, like, where did Tommy go in series? Are they actually gonna kill off Tommy in series instead of just, like, letting him go? Like, no, he's retired. He's off. He did his duty. We don't know. This is, like, the biggest blank. They have not announced who's playing the Green Ranger at all. Like it's just a complete blank slate at this point. For all we know, he just kind of does what he did in the original show: jump in toward the end of the fight and just get his licks in to turn the tide. No clue. No clue at all. So when they announced this, Jason David Frank had already said publicly he was done being a Power Ranger, which is stark contrast to where he was a few years before, where he said, "Yeah, just I'll show up for $10. Like, you just pay me whatever, and I'll show up." So I don't know. I don't know what shifted in that. It's entirely possible, because remember the man for what he represented and how many he inspired, but be honest about who the man was, because he was known to have an ego about him. If he got snubbed for this show, I could absolutely see that being the reason why he started saying, "No, I'm done with Rangers." No idea. And that's all speculative. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Until then, I'm just, like, super curious how they're going to handle a Green Ranger in this episode. And then they get me right in the feels. They get me right in the nostalgia. Brand new footage of the Mighty Morphin Rangers fighting putties. Oh, it's such a nice throwback. This also makes me wonder how much Rita and Zed play into the villain side of this, considering it's putties. It's Rita's putties, specifically. I'm super curious now. And especially because, like, Finster's wiped out, so who's making the putties? Not that they, like, the power coins are supposed to be destroyed too, by the way, but we're not gonna make anything out of that. So I guess wondering where the putties came from is a little bit unnecessary. It's all just good, nostalgic fun just to see the Rangers and this cast together one more time. And yeah, super fun, super cool. Love seeing this. There's a few other shots here that we can talk about, though, because there's some other cool things they dropped as far as live action goes. So the big buzz is also for Cosmic Fury, because they finally dropped a full shot of what all the costumes look like, and we got our first shot of what they look like on camera. So we're going to show both and talk about both. And the first one being the shot of the suits in artistic form, and I love these designs. Someone pointed out that, yeah, there is a little bit of Dino Thunder in how how these things are handled. Literally how they are handled. You can see the weapons on the red and the black weapons. They have less, more even then. So on the Green Ranger's daggers, you can see the dino head on the tip of the tip of the handle, which is exactly how they would have been handled. Interesting that we have a Silver Ranger, or silver or gold. It's really hard to make out what Ranger color you're supposed to be. But no weapon in hand, which is a little bit odd since everyone else seems to have a weapon. But the biggest takeaway from this, I think the biggest shock of everything that everyone went, oh my God, they're finally doing it. We have a female Red Ranger who is not only like the proper lead of the team, but is a promoted Pink Ranger from Dino Fury. I will admit, I haven't watched Dino Fury. I do know a lot of people have been really in love with that series, and I've heard some people call it the best since the Disney era, which means you're comparing it to RPM as far as I'm concerned when you say something like that. And if it's comparable to RPM, yeah, maybe I should go back and actually give it a watch. All I really know about it is the retro stuff, Lord Zed came back, etc., and everything they did with the Green Ranger, which is phenomenal. I mean, I think the best thing the Power Rangers did, and what Power Rangers at the soul of it was supposed to be about, is being able to see yourself in one of these characters being a hero, right? Maybe some seasons missed here or there, but that's why the seasons had such diverse casts and why every season tried to change things up as much as they could. Out there, with a 30-year legacy, there's a Ranger out there for everyone to identify with. Even the live-action movie that nobody liked. When you have your new version of Zack, who he's trying to be funny and he's trying to be the wisecracker, but it's kind of disguising the things going on in his home life, where he's got a sick family member he takes care of. That is me. That was my life when I watched that movie. That weirded me out. Like, oh my God, I'm a grown-ass man, and here I am identifying with a Power Ranger once again. And that is what Rangers is all about. So, okay, so we have an LGBT Ranger, which is fantastic. It's great that they finally did it. It took them long enough. And I'm really enjoying just how much they leaned into it. It's not like a read between the lines thing. It's just flat out there. And that's fine. That's exactly how it should be done. But yes, the big deal here is that we have a female Red Ranger for the first time. Now, we had one in Samurai, but that's a temporary thing. This is a proper female Red Ranger who is the actual leader of the team and is not just a temporary promotion or temporary gimmick character. That is the leader. Super, super cool. Wish it happened in a series that wasn't going to be 10 episodes long, but you know what? I guess I'll take it. At the very least, it's a cool looking suit, right? Well, about that. So the suits in person are... No, the suits in person look like a Power Ranger knockoff series out of China, right? It looks like one of those, kind of. They're just not... they're way too matte colored they're way too matte in color. They're just not they need that little bit of spandex shine to make it look special, to make it look energetic, to make it look more powerful. Like it's not just a spandex suit. This is a little underwhelming, I feel like. And maybe it's just because of this shot. Maybe with the right lighting, it'll look better. Maybe in motion, it'll look better. The overall design of the suit, I'm really into. But just this, the flat color and the sculpted muscles especially, don't do that. Don't ever do that. It never looks good. This just looks super awkward. Spandex doesn't work like that. And I'm pretty sure they sculpted boobs into the girl costumes while they were at it. This is still not how spandex works. It's weird. It's weird. I'm hoping they look better in person. I really am. But yeah, that is what I got for you today. It's a really fascinating look at what they're doing for the anniversary. There's a lot of really cool throwback stuff, and it looks like they're just going all out. It feels like they're making an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30 years later and trying to include and recall as many as many additions to that show as they can, which is phenomenal. It's more phenomenal. Why have I not said that at any point during this this video? So yeah, my nostalgia is racing, and we get to see this in April, and I'm super excited for it. So here's a little bit of Power Ranger video for you, just to get my thoughts and opinions out for something that is exceptionally cool. Thank you guys for watching. We will see how this does. If it does well, maybe I'll actually watch Cosmic Fury and we'll do something for it. But that is up to you guys to let me know if you want to see that. Until then. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.